Hello, everyone, and welcome. Cover a topic today that isn't often discussed, but is actually one of the key decisions that you need to make, particularly when you're early in your investing career. That is how to select the right stockbroker. I'm going to go through a series of things you need to consider. So, do you feel a bit overwhelmed when you perhaps are looking to start investing in? You're perhaps a little bit unsure about what does good look like and what are the key factors to consider? We've come to the right place. I take you through the 5 key areas, the aspects within those I believe you need to look at when you are selecting your stockbroker of choice, or perhaps even multiple brokers. Here are the 5 key areas. And we start with reliability. The first thing to think about is the company that you're going to be putting your hard-earned money with a sound company? Is it financially stable? Has it been around a long time? So as an example, in the UK, we have Hargreaves Lansdown as a broker. They're a FTSE 100 company with a cracking balance sheet. So I feel very comfortable putting a lot of my money with them. Whereas perhaps if it's a new online broker, it's only been going for a year or two, I'm not as certain. That kind of then links into the kind of loss protection insurance. Depending on which country you're in, some of the brokers will have some kind of insurance scheme. If the broker goes bust, your assets within that broker are kind of covered or still belong to you. So that's something to look into. Now, other aspects of reliability, particularly for new companies, is the platform. Some of the brokers, particularly when the market crashed a lot in March 2020, suffered from platform outages and downtime. And that's really unacceptable because you need to be there, be able to use the platform to take advantages of market situations. And if you can't do that, that's not a good broker. The customer service response is very important. So they deal with your questions. Are they contactable via multiple methods? So not just an email, but phone them up. You need to be able to get in touch with them, raise any concerns, or indeed give feedback around what they can improve. Another thing to consider is the app function. I think pretty much all brokers have some kind of mobile app where you can trade instantly through it. If not, then you may need to think about how you are planning to trade or invest, and therefore, is that something you need? Also having to think about online security, so do a bit of research. Has that broker actually been subject to any hacking? That's something you really don't want. And then finally, the kind of reviews. Have a look at reviews online. What are people saying? Now, there are quite a lot of fake reviews out there, so you need to be careful. And perhaps one of the best ways is actually, does anyone you know, your friends or family, actually use this broker? Ask them to show the app, ask them to describe their experiences. Would they recommend? Because that's almost the strongest kind of recommendation. Hopefully, you can see why that's very important. And we then get on to the second point, which is the money. There's the obvious one to start with, which is your trading fees. When you are buying or selling a stock or any other instrument, I'm mainly focused on stocks here, but it still applies to other things. Are they charging a trading fee? And if you're starting with smaller amounts of money, the trading fee can actually be quite a large percentage of that transaction. You can get stung a bit there. So I guess the trading fees actually links very nicely into the funds. So Harvey's Lansdown, as a very large provider, almost like a fund supermarket, they negotiate discounts with mutual funds. So if you invest into those, they often charge an upfront fee for going into the fund. So do make sure you keep an eye out for those fees because they can be up to 5% sometimes. And then funds do have an ongoing charge. Some brokers, like Hargreaves Lansdown, not on commission by the way, they do negotiate reductions on those ongoing charges. So depending on whether you're an active investor in terms of stock picking, or whether you're a passive investor, you're just going to go with funds and index trackers, then that might well determine the broker that you're looking to choose because there'll be different levels of suitability there. If you want to know more around active and passive investing, I'll leave a box set link at the end of this video and you can set out some model portfolios depending on how much risk you want to take. Now, the other thing to think about is actually the account. So many brokers charge account fees, whether that's a fixed fee or a percentage of your assets. So you need to understand those fees, and also are there inactivity fees. If you don't place any transactions for 3 months or 6 months because you're just new or you've only got 1 or 2 positions, you don't want to get stung with any unexpected inactivity fees. So some of the guys will say, oh yeah, no trading fees. But if you look at the spread between the buy and the sell price on a share, it's quite large. And in those situations, yeah, they're making a bit of money on the spread. Another hidden charge could be the dividend reinvestment charge. If you set funds or even shares automatically reinvest dividends. Sometimes you'll get a hidden charge against that, and you won't know it until it's actually happened. And also foreign exchange fees. So some of the brokers will charge you a foreign exchange fee if you're dealing currencies that aren't the native currency of that platform. And then last but not least, you've got the affiliate scheme. So when you sign up to new brokers, sometimes you can actually get some free shares. They can be quite valuable. So access. So the key thing here is there an app if that's the sort of functionality you need? Does the broker have access to the key markets that you'll need? So a lot of brokers will have access, let's say, to the US market, maybe UK. They might not have access to the Australian market, for example. One day you might find a great value opportunity in one of those markets, but you won't be able to buy. And this is where, for me, Interactive Brokers is absolutely fantastic. I can buy pretty much any instrument in any country with them. They have an absolutely excellent range of market access. And then linked to that is the actual shares within the market. So thinking about free trade that I mentioned, until recently they had quite a limited range of shares you can access. And they have just recently added several hundred additional American shares. So the smaller cap companies, and some of the stocks, like the smaller UK ones, you can't access unless you pay to get their kind of free trade plus, I think they call it. And then currency is the last one. So again, I really like Interactive Brokers is that I can hold pounds, dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars. I think I hold all four of those at the moment in there. And then I can access those markets through those mechanisms. So you can actually make your currency exchanges in advance when the rate is more favourable, hold on to that currency. And when the time's right to invest into a company, you can do so. Products is the next one. So you've already mentioned briefly the sort of upgrade products, but what key products do these companies have? So could you have all your business under one roof? So do they offer your retirement or pension accounts? Do they offer kind of the tax-free wrappers? So in the UK, we have an ISA and also junior ISAs. And if you want to know about junior ISAs, again, I can leave a link at the end of this video. I go through detail what a junior ISA is and how it benefits you. The other thing is the innovation. So some platforms are very, very static. So for me, Hargreaves Lansdown, as an example, it feels quite static in terms of what's available. And the availability is good, but they don't seem to be innovating as much. Whereas if you look at some of the other platforms, they are bringing in new types of accounts, new products, and you might be able to get a bit more value in the long run. And finally, it's information. So this is kind of the information that's on the platform when you're going about your business. So for example, clarity. Are the fees actually clear? That's very important because for some of them, they're not. Is financial information about the stocks and instruments you're buying available on the platform, or do you have to go elsewhere to get them? We've got some nice charts there that make things very easy to understand. Are the fees explained clearly, as we said? That's it. So I hope you found that useful. Do drop me a comment below as to which of those 5 areas you believe is the most important. So thanks for joining me. I've got a Patreon site there. If you want to support the channel, find out what I buy and sell, and get access to some of my templates, including discounted cash and budgeting. Otherwise, yeah, have a great day and thanks for joining me.